But yeah, I just wanted to get our last basically regular season NFL episode in.
Yeah, I know. It's kind of crazy. Like I feel like the season went by really quickly.
No, yeah, for sure. I know. I almost just sent it to you, dude. But you've got to be pretty stoked though that you're gonna probably most likely be the 1 seed, which is nice.
Most likely. Honestly, the Packers don't have such a good record in recent history of doing so hot as the 1 or 2 seed, getting that bye week. So I don't know how I feel about it quite yet. But yeah, definitely like just being in that position, considering how the season has gone, kind of like, I don't want to say like how difficult the season has been, but just like seeing like how resilient the team has been, how lack of it, basically like they just haven't been as injured and stuff at this point. It's just
that must be nice.
We consider ourselves very lucky, I can tell you, but especially with 100%. The news of David Bakhtiari.
Oh God,
yesterday.
So, in practice.
Yeah, I know, in practice.
That is terrible. Who replaces him?
Elgton Jenkins.
Is he a young guy?
Yeah, he was a rookie last year. Draft. Yeah, dude, like second round.
That's trash. I know. I forgot to text you about that because that's massive.
Like right before, not even in a game or anything. It's just, I don't know. So it's rough. I don't know. I almost like it's gonna be crazy. I don't know. I don't think it's gonna be as like one-sided as everyone is saying that it will be.
The NFC?
Oh no. The Packers Bears game, because the Packers have to win it in order to get the 1
for sure.
So I don't think it's going to be as one-sided as everyone's saying it will be.
So if the Bears win and the Panthers win, the Seahawks can get 1 seed. That's where the Niners come in. The Niners, they're going to take care of business. I'm telling you.
I hope so, man.
Okay, but all the Packers have to do, they've just got to win, and it doesn't really matter what other things happen.
Yep, exactly.
So you guys just got to take care of business, and it'll be solid. The Bears, they're not that good. You're fine, but they have hasn't their run game, like David Montgomery's been kind of doing nice, huh?
Yeah,
that's kind of scary.
Well. So we'll see. I mean, I was expecting Derrick Henry to hit like 2,000 rushing yards. Yeah, like the Packers game, during the Packers game, because I thought he was just going to run for like 250 something yards.
Yeah,
and that's all he needed. That's all he needs in order to get to 2,000 yards.
Right.
So I was expecting that to all come during the game. And then when it didn't happen, we held him to less than 100 yards, 98, but still less than 100. When that happened, I was like, wait, what? That's crazy.
I know, you guys freaking obliterated the Titans. Yeah. Did you see that coming at all?
No. I thought it was going to be like neck and neck. I thought the Titans were going to have the lead for most of it, and then some like late game or heroics or something like that. And then
true.
The Packers somehow would get away with a win, but I honestly wasn't expecting them to win. I was expecting the Titans to just obliterate them.
Really? So, yeah. You have like, for being a Packers fan, you don't give the Packers enough credit.
Nah, dude. Like, well, it's just like, I don't know how to explain it, but it's basically like I've been a Packers fan for a minute now, right? And we've had very successful seasons. We've had a lot of seasons where, we expect a lot. We expect to, be in the Super Bowl conversation. We expect to at least make it to the NFC Championship. And then like one thing or another, there's always something that comes up and we just haven't gotten there, Like It was kind of funny because I saw you post on Instagram the other day that the Packers NFC or New Year's resolution was to pass the NFC Championship game. And I'm just like, that's a little too real.
Yeah, for real. No, there's so many funny, like small Instagram accounts that post memes that are like so true. It's hilarious. Yeah. But yeah, the Niners one couldn't be more real either. The less torn ACLs.
God.
This season's been kind of a mess, but it's okay.
But it's just, like those types of things for like the past like decade and a half, I want to say, like those types of things that have come up where it's just like after a certain point, it's like you kind of stop being like a diehard fan and like expecting the win like all the time. You start seeing things like what the reality of the situation is. You start seeing things straight through and it's like, wow. even when I think we have a good defense, we actually have a terrible defense. And when I think we have a great offense, it's kind of meh. So, I mean, this year's been different. This year we've definitely been good. Even last year we were good. 2 years before that,
Yeah, I know what you mean. But you guys are kind of in that weird dilemma where it's like you have that actual elite level quarterback like Russell Wilson. So no matter what, you're always going to somewhat be in that conversation. And even because of that guy, you sometimes are more overrated. You know what I mean? Sometimes people, just because you have that one star-studded player, that you just are expected to kind of be in that conversation constantly, even though maybe you shouldn't be.
Yeah, no, that's fair. That's fair. Like even this year, like some of the shortfalls I see with the Packers is the fact that we can't really play through a lot of off-script things. That was an issue last year. It's gotten better this year, but it's still not where it could be. And I think it's probably going to take another year, hopefully just another year or something like that, but maybe a couple years of more of the development of Matt LaFleur's offensive game plan and whatever scheme or shape it takes with Rodgers and stuff like that, where it's just like, okay, yeah, they work together and they develop a scheme that works for, those types of situations where it's like not everything can be scripted, like, a McVay offense or a Shanahan offense or whoever else. Right. So a lot of that. And then the other thing is that we're just not built. We're just not built to be the pass rush, or actually no. So I would say that we are built to be a pass rushing powerhouse. We're just not getting it done. And I think that's why we're struggling so much in terms of just on the defensive side. So those are the two major downfalls I see the Packers. So
I think you guys are going to make it to the Super Bowl, dude. There's no doubt in my mind. Look, looking at the playoff bracket, the NFC is kind of weak sauce. It's a toss up.
The only team that I don't want to see on the way up is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Oh God,
I think, like you put the Packers up against any team, and I'm like, all right, it's going down to the wire. Like I could totally see the Packers winning. The only team that I like, just kind of like, I wouldn't mind skipping past them is definitely going to be the Buccaneers.
Yeah. But the weirdest part of this whole entire situation is, so we low-key thought we were geniuses picking the Giants. Like
we were.
And then all of a sudden everything is destroyed. And then before you know it, guess what? Basically almost any team besides the Eagles could make it to the playoffs this week.
Yeah. Well, crazy. Actually it's kind of crazy because the Eagles kind of decide the fate of the NFC East. Even though the Eagles aren't going to make it in, but if they play well and they win, then it basically kicks out the Washington football team, and it leaves it up to, the Cowboys or the Giants to do whatever they can and somehow make it in. I don't know what their record would be. Yeah. As a 7-9 team. Yeah.
So basically what needs to happen, I'm pretty sure most people are probably really aware, but if the Eagles win, the winner of the Cowboys Giants game gets in.
Yeah, exactly.
We need the Giants to get in there because they look good against the Bucks.
Exactly.
Dude, and if they knock out the Bucks early, that would be wild.
Well, actually, I mean, I don't mind the Saints going up against the Bucks again. I can see it.
No, yeah, I know. And then that Rams Seattle game, if that actually comes down, I mean, that's probably most likely going to happen, right? No, wait. If Arizona wins, though.
So it's kind of weird.
If Arizona wins, then they might get in. I'm only clicking on the games that. So yeah, that's wild. So if Arizona,
do you want me to break it down? Like,
for sure. Yeah, I'm on the playoff machine right now, but I mean,
oh, okay, you are.
Yeah, I'm clicking on the thing. So okay, so if we've got the Rams, the Rams and the Rams and the Cardinals game is actually a pretty big game.
Yeah, and it's crazy because both the backup quarterbacks are going to be playing it.
Wow. Okay, so
Yeah.
if the Rams, I mean, granted, this isn't taking into account any of the other games being played or me clicking on any of the other games, but like, I don't know if that matters a whole bunch. But if the Rams win, that means the Bears get the 7th seed.
Basically.
But so what happens? What else has to happen?
Okay, so
the Vikes out?
No. The Vikings Lions game doesn't matter. So if the Rams win, I want to say tomorrow because this whole day has been feeling like a Saturday, but it's really just Friday. But
especially with all the college football.
I know, dude. Did you see that Auburn game or not Auburn, Alabama game?
Yeah, Notre Dame is complete garbage trash at everything they do.
I was hoping for something different, but oh my god!
Are you a Notre Dame guy?
Well, I mean, we kind of got to be. I mean, or at least I kind of got to be because University of Portland.
Ian Book? No.
Notre Dame's no. Notre Dame's sister school.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So
yeah, but Notre Dame, dude. No matter what happens, I'll never forget. What was it? 2012 with like, when they played Alabama. They've just always been that team. They're good and stuff, but they're never to the point where we're picking them to win a natty. You know what I mean? Like they're always that team that squeaks in and then gets shat on because they're not there yet.
Yeah, so the Green Bay Packers from
2011
to 2020.
The Green Bay Packers are the Notre Dame.
As much as I hate to admit it, that's true. Like they're always the team that they're a good team and we're like, yeah, we expect them to be there or like be up there, but it's like, they like, squeak in and then they just do nothing. Like kind of fall flat. And
like the NFC Championship game last year.
NFC Championship game last year, that's the Falcons game the year or 3 years before, the Seahawks game 2 years prior to that, 2011 when they went 15-1 and then put up a fat donut against the New York Giants. Like you name it, bro. Oh, don't forget about the 49ers game, 2012 when Colin Kaepernick just like ran all over him, 157 rushing yards. Yeah. The Packers are used to just falling flat on their face in the playoffs, man. It's a thing.
I know, but at least they're there. At least they're not like the Niners where it's either like,
look, man, all I'm saying is, when you get into the playoffs and the thing that people say about you is at least you're there. You know what that basically is? That's like getting a participation trophy award when you're in like rec league or whatever in like 5th grade or whatever you're in.
But I mean, like at least you're there though. You give yourself a shot. You give yourself a shot and that's all that matters. Man.
Participation awards. I don't want participation awards. I want Super Bowls.
I mean, those participate. I think going to the NFL playoffs, that's a pretty hefty participation award. At least you earned your spot to be there in the first place. Am I right? It looks good on the coach's resume. I mean,
yeah. How'd that do for Bill O'Brien?
No, how'd that do for that? What was the Lions coach before? What's his face took over?
Oh shoot! Yeah, I know.
Dude, that guy, he made it to the playoffs. They yanked him.
Crap. I know exactly.
I picture him right now.
I know. I got his picture in my head, but it's like I don't remember his name.
I see his like little thing. It's smiling. His little photo.
The Colts coach or something like that.
Dude, I forget. Look it up really fast. I have no idea. But I'm so happy. Matt Patricia, dude. I had no idea that they came out with that video of him talking to that reporter about posture, just like sitting up straight for me or whatever. Remember that?
No.
You've never seen that or heard that? There was like a reporter. He's like, "Can you just do something for me? Like sit up straight when you're talking to me or whatever." And
I've never seen that.
No, that's
awesome. Wild.
And it's just like right then and there, I was like, not a Matt Patricia guy at all. Like that's stupid, dude.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
honestly, like I just don't believe it, but I believe it. You know what I mean?
No, yeah, I know.
I feel like that's a Belichick thing.
It's like who even says that? Honestly.
Yeah.
But do you know what we need to do for sure? I even wrote why, because I have like some little bullet point questions here. But like we need to do a bracket of the teams that didn't make the playoffs and then do like our own little thing about who would come out of that like toilet bowl.
Yeah, let's do it. I'm down.
Because
that'd be a lot of fun.
I feel like there's some pretty interesting teams. And then like piggybacking off of that, what is
Jim Caldwell?
Yeah, Jim Caldwell.
Yep.
Yeah, he wasn't bad. I mean, he took him to the playoffs like twice or something, and they still yanked him. right?
Yeah.
He had like a decent resume, and then they just
36-28, and then led them.
I mean, it's not terrible. It's better than what Chip Kelly did and some of those guys. Dude, remember the dude, so when I was in high school, kind of in the sophomore range of high school and junior, that was just some dark days of 49er football. Just some dark days. And you've never experienced that really with the Packers, because you've always had
not since I've been a legit fan. You know what I mean? Like, obviously, like
I'm so jealous.
Yeah, well, obviously, I mean, like, there have been some moments, like, but it was all like before I was there, right?
Yeah,
before I really started paying attention to football and really started getting involved and into it, like how I am now. But like, I would still argue that like the last 2 years of McCarthy were just rough. They weren't like as dark as it's been for a lot of the other teams,
right,
in the NFL. But like, I would still say that just all that type of stuff, because like, here's the thing. Or at least here's my take on like a bad season, right?
Mm-hmm.
So like, you could go 5-11, 4-12, whatever, and that could be your record, you know, and further, you know, and worse, whatever.
Yeah,
that could be your record, 6-10, even, whatever, and that could be your record, and that could be like a bad season for you.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you could be riddled with injuries. There could be a lot of other contingent factors. The thing that sucked the most about the Packers and McCarthy was just the fact that it had already kind of been done. It had already kind of like stalled out a little bit for a while. And then it kind of and then, you know, you started seeing all these articles come out, and then there was like a lot of basically drama. The way like the fallout drama was arguably like the worst part of it. And for that reason alone, I would say that those types of situations in which there's drama associated with the bad season, that's what makes it worse than just having a bad record. And I think most of the time, like, you know, like, let's just talk about the Jaguars, right? They had 2 or 3 years of relevancy prior to that.
It was a joke. It was so odd.
Yeah, exactly.
That whole Blaine Gabbert thing was just the weirdest thing ever to me. Like, they didn't feel like they should have been there.
Exactly. So, oh, you mean Blake Bortles?
Oh, Blake Bortles. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, Blaine Gabbert was a quarterback for the Jaguars too. So
yeah, no, yeah, I just mixed them up because exactly, like, we mixed them up because they're like the same kind of guy.
Yeah,
but
I don't know. It is what it is. But
yeah, Trevor Lawrence, dude, because I think that we can base. I mean, I will just say right now that the Buckeyes beat the Clemson Tigers. Okay. You think
I don't see that happening.
You don't see that right now. It's 49-21 Ohio State. They're playing right now.
Oh crap!
I'm just gonna call it.
Oh crap!
Let's just call this like we're just gonna have an early freaking post game kind of reaction to this, because that Trey Sermon, he used to play for Oklahoma. Then he's gonna be a freaking San Francisco 49er. He runs like Deebo Samuel. He's so physical. And he's an absolute stud. And then also, because you remember Najee Harris,
yeah,
Alabama,
earlier today.
I have been talking about him since forever. I know that running back is not a complete need for the 49ers.
No,
but I mean, come on, dude. If you get a guy like some of these running backs that are coming out, ETN. And then we're just watching, even though it's a very small sample size of Trey Sermon that I've seen, but it's very convincing. And then obviously Najee Harris is an athletic stud. So, I mean, I wouldn't be opposed to taking those guys later, especially a guy like Trey Sermon who might not go so early.
The Buckeyes had a hell of a second quarter. 21 points in the second quarter for the Buckeyes.
I know, dude. Justin Fields threw 4 first half touchdowns with a freaking, he got what's that, Skalski or something, Skalski. He targeted Justin Fields, but it was in his back, like his rib cage, and he got ejected for it. But yeah, watching Justin Fields, I love Justin Fields. I mean, he telegraphs his passes for sure, and he has time for days to throw. but still he zips it in there, and I like him a lot. If somehow the 49ers could trade up and snag him, wouldn't be opposed to it. Wouldn't be opposed to it at all. And it's not completely unlikely either. I don't know, dude. I just want so bad what the Seahawks have and what the Packers have had. You know what I mean?
No.
So bad. It's just it's complete jealousy. It is. Straight up.
No, I get that 100%. And that's like that's like
Trevor
the weird
Lawrence
thing.
I don't, dude. Do you trust Trevor?
Yeah. With the way, I don't know. It's so hard for me. It's so hard to judge college prospects because I don't like watch like college ball unless it's like getting around to this time where it's like, okay, the playoffs, this is about the time when I actually start paying attention a little bit more to college. And then outside of that, around the draft, then I'll I'll listen to like what people are saying about podcast or the prospects, on podcasts and whatnot. And then I'll kind of research on my own, see like
what the Packers need.
What the Packers need and what these, what these mock draft or what these people who do the mock drafts are saying, like, this person could go at this time, or this guy's a late round guy, this guy's an early round guy, whatever, he's fallen when, take mock drafts for what they're worth. And it's just like, that's about the process. So for when I watch these games, I hate like saying like, oh yeah, this guy's going to be a stud or this guy's going to be, a dud, whatever.
Yeah.
Just based off of like one game or something like that I've seen. But I've obviously, Clemson's been very successful for the past couple of years. And just what I've seen of Trevor Lawrence, he reminds me a lot of like a Deshaun Watson. I don't know if that's like the way, but he reminds me a lot of like Deshaun Watson. Yeah. I just don't know how exactly the Jaguars are going to wind up using him if they end up drafting him like number 1 overall, but we'll see.
I think it's so hard for me. Like so many people, if you would have told me Justin Herbert became maybe one of the best rookie quarterbacks that has ever been in the NFL, I don't know if I would have
broke Baker's record. So.
I don't know if I would have believed you. Like, did you see that coming? I didn't even see. I mean, Joe Burrow's. Honestly, the craziest thing out of all of this, do you think it would be unfair to say that Tua could be the most sketchy rookie quarterback that was taken in the top 10?
Oh, that is 100% fair.
Yeah.
He's coming off like a wild injury already, even as a quarterback of the, of Alabama, like even as a quarterback of Alabama, he was already kind of like, okay, yeah, he was a good quarterback, but I thought a lot of the stuff that he was throwing into was schemed out. I didn't think he was making anything. Of what I saw of him, again, small sample size. So of what I saw of him, a lot of the stuff that he was making and like excelling at was like the schemed out stuff. Those throws that you want NFL quarterbacks to make, like down the middle, over the top, corners, posts, those types of things, like those kind of like niche type throws. He wasn't hitting them. Right. Not that, they needed him to hit those, but those are the types of throws that I expect to see quarterbacks, like NFL ready quarterbacks, be able to make. Like, that's why I was like Joe Burrow and Justin Herbert, I'll get to a little bit later, but that's why specifically for Joe Burrow, I was like, okay, yeah, no, he's ready because he's like 26 coming into the league, right? So he's spent plenty of time in college and he's had that, development process to be able to make those types of throws because he's had enough of those drills, enough of those development periods to be able to hit that. So that's why I was like, oh yeah, Joe Burrow is going to be good in the league. I didn't think he was going to be, I still don't think he's going to be great, fantastic, phenomenal, whatever. I think he's going to be good, solid, he's going to be a solid player. Yeah.
I didn't know how I felt about him, but he's freaking solid.
I was higher on Justin Herbert coming in more so than I was on Joe Burrow. And the specific thing was because of all the talent that Justin Herbert had surrounded, all the talent that was surrounding Justin Herbert versus all the talent that was surrounding Joe Burrow, because Joe Burrow you saw his season, you know the stats. He was blown past, all the record books in order to, lead LSU to the Natty, right? So it's just like there was obviously a load of talent around him. Look at Justin Jefferson. Look at how he's performing in the league.
Exactly.
Look at Clyde Edwards-Helaire. Like he's a fantastic running back, and he's split. He's time sharing with Le'Veon Bell, and he's winning. You know what I mean? He's winning that battle against Le'Veon Bell.
Yeah.
So obviously Joe Burrow had a ton of talent around him versus Justin Herbert. You look at all the people that were around him and it was like, okay, well, who was he throwing? And he was at times, especially during that Rose Bowl game against Wisconsin, where it was just like, okay, yeah, no, that dude he was just on the floor to win, or on the field to win, like he was doing anything and everything. I think he had like 4 bad interceptions that game, but and then Oregon still came out on top. And at that point, I was just like, okay, well, he's not getting it done in the air, but he's running the ball. And it's just like, wow. Like,
I forget exactly the stats of that game, but yeah, he won it with his feet.
Yeah. So it was just like, at that point, I was just like, okay, well, this guy's gonna get it done, because just the way he is, the way his, not Rose Bowl game aside, but everything else was phenomenal.
I don't know what I was thinking, but I mean, when you really look at Justin Herbert and actually watch him play as much as people in Oregon have watched him play, I mean, he's so similar to Josh Allen, and you see how well Josh Allen's game translates in the NFL. It's like, it's no wonder that he's so good, especially when you have Keenan Allen on your side and Austin Eckler and freaking, what's his face? What's their tight end?
Hunter Henry.
Hunter Henry. Yeah. All these. And then, when you got weapons, I mean, it's insane. So that's going to be really interesting to see how well Trevor Lawrence does, because but to be perfectly honest, Trevor Lawrence isn't inheriting like a crazy bad, like they have weapons. As odd as it is,
DJ Chark, James Robinson,
Chenault, and
Keenan Cole. Yeah.
I mean, it's not like they don't have playmakers.
No.
And you saw it with Gardner. He managed to do some crazy stuff there.
Yeah. So, well, I mean, like going back to Justin Herbert real quick, like, yeah, okay. He has Austin Eckler. He has Austin Eckler. He has, Keenan Allen, Mike Williams, a bunch of those guys. But Anthony Lynn even came out and said it the other day, or maybe it was like a couple weeks ago, but he was saying that Justin Herbert, like on the field, when Keenan Allen is also on the field, he's too focused on trying to get the ball to Keenan Allen. And Anthony Lynn was like, Justin Herbert actually plays better when Keenan Allen isn't on the field, because he's distributing the ball a lot better. I'm just like, wait, what? You're kidding me. And then that game,
it makes sense.
Yeah, that game, Keenan Allen only took like 27 snaps the entire game, and Justin Herbert lit up the Raiders. It's just like, what? Like, you're insane. Like, that's crazy. I don't like, you just don't see that coming.
It is freaking insane. Who would you say your kind of breakout star is that you weren't expecting to be so good was, besides Justin Herbert?
Justin Jefferson.
Justin Jefferson?
100%. I mean, like, I thought Henry Ruggs was going to be the best wide receiver coming out of the draft. Maybe I was like a little bit too in on Alabama, but I just thought that Henry Ruggs was going to be the best. And then I thought that Justin Jefferson, like, obviously had the help at LSU. And then behind a quarterback like Joe Burrow. So I thought Henry Ruggs was, but when I started like actually watching, the Vikings play this season, and not the first game was rough for him. The second game, I think he put it all together. And then the third game, he blew up, something like that. And, just watching him play, it was just like, no, that guy's a stud. Like, he's way better than Henry Ruggs. And I just didn't see it coming. But aside from that, I think James Robinson's another obvious one. Undrafted rookie, he just kind of got tossed in there by John Gruden. No, who's the other guy? Jim Gruden? Shoot.
Jay
Gruden. Yeah. He just kind of got tossed in there by Jay Gruden. So,
yeah. What do you think about Ayuk? And what do you think about the Niners, their wide receivers that they've drafted the past 2 years? Like, it's so weird to me how much of an impact they've made so early.
Oh yeah,
in terms of Debo and Ayuk. It's crazy to me because
Brandon Ayuk, from what I read up on him, like before going into the draft, was that a lot of people thought that he was the most. A lot of people thought that he was the most. What's the word for basically like most NFL ready? I don't know.
primed,
But yeah, he was the best prospect.
polished.
Polished. There we go. He was
Yeah.
the most polished route runner of the draft. A lot of people were coming out and saying that, like, he was the most polished route runner. And obviously he had the speed to him too. What people were like not sure about was his hands, whether or not like he had the most drops or something like that. But like his skill tree, I was listening to a podcast like early on before the draft, and basically what that one person was saying was that his skill tree, his route running is just unbelievable.
It's really diverse.
He can hit almost every route. He has the timing down. The only thing that he's missing is either the quarterback just won't see him in time, or he just, would drop the ball or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So I was kind of hoping that the Packers would have, first I wanted the Packers obviously to get Justin Jefferson. He was coming down. But then Minnesota took him. So then I was thinking like Patrick Queen, he's there. I wanted him. Patrick Queen. They didn't take Patrick Queen. Pick was in. So I was like, okay, second round, they're going to get Brandon Ayuk. Brandon Ayuk obviously didn't fall to the Packers. They obviously went to you. So I was like, okay, well, of those, I definitely wanted Brandon Ayuk. So I'm not surprised by Brandon Ayuk. From everything that I read about him, everything that I saw about him, he was like, they knew what they had. They just didn't know if a lot of teams weren't willing to just take the shot, whether or not that, he'd be ready to go, whether or not his skills would translate in game with everything combined.
Dude, imagine having Ayuk, Scantling, and Devontae Adams.
Yeah. Well, Ayuk would come in and immediately fill, like the way that I see LaFleur using him was that Ayuk would immediately fill the role of Tyler Ervin, which is now being fulfilled by Tavon Austin. He would immediately come in, and then he would be that instant number 3 to number 2 wide receiver coming off that. So I think as far as like the other wide receivers that the 49ers have drafted over the past couple of years, I think Deebo Samuel was definitely one that they kind of knew what they were getting right off the bat. So his success doesn't really surprise me. Kendrick Bourne, I think he just needs more opportunities per se. I think he got kind of flooded out of the locker room, or not the locker room. He got flooded out of the rotation order really quickly when Deebo started popping off. And obviously you guys had Emmanuel Sanders last year.
Right.
So I think he got kind of drowned out, especially if you're
third option.
Yeah, he became that third option, so he wasn't seeing as much time out on the field, especially since especially since the Niners already don't throw the ball that much. Like Jimmy G was winning games by only throwing like 8 passes. I think that was only against the Packers. So he was probably averaging maybe like 15 throws a game, no more than 20. So he wasn't, it's not like Kendrick Bourne was getting a ton of opportunities off the bat. So I just think he needs more time, but I'm definitely not surprised by Deebo Samuel. And I'm definitely not surprised by how successful or how much success Brandon Ayuk has found.
Mm-hmm, for sure. I'm really happy about our last draft that we had with Javon Kinlaw. I think Javon Kinlaw is slowly but surely going to become a dominant defensive tackle in the league. It might not come too crazy in the next couple of years, but I have faith that he's going to be solid, and that's massive for us. And then now, honestly, if there was a year to not have the best year and get a decent like mid-tier first rounder, it would have been this year. You know what I mean? Because if we can just add on another freaking guy in the secondary, we're going to be a force next year. The Niners, do you think the Niners will make it to the Super Bowl next year? Granted, like betting that like everybody stays healthy.
Yeah, 100%. Because
I think
make it to the Super Bowl. I would definitely consider them a Super Bowl team.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, like it's way too early to say like, oh yeah, they're in the Super Bowl, whatever. But I definitely would consider them Super Bowl team, because you guys were literally like your entire locker room being injured away from being in the conversation again this year. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
if you guys didn't have those injuries, you guys would definitely be right up there, probably knocking on the tails of, the Saints, being the leaders of the NFC West and trying to knock off the Saints and get that second seed or something like that.
Right.
Something like that I could definitely see that, happening. But it's like, obviously injury rattled season. I think that this draft, you guys are definitely going to be more defensive heavy. Again, I think it's going to be, you guys are going to be really trying to find like another development type middle linebacker to go alongside Fred Warner. I think you guys are going to be going for another couple corners. And then other than that, it's definitely going to be your line. Definitely going to be fixing that line.
Yeah.
I would not put it past Kyle Shanahan to obviously, like kind of what you said a little bit earlier, put some draft resources into getting another running back or something like that. If, the opportunity presents itself.
It's a smart move.
Especially if there's someone who especially if the value that you think you're getting in a player coming in is better than what you think you currently have on the roster, like make the move. You know what I mean?
Right.
That's why, even more so, it kind of made me mad when the Packers drafted Jordan Love. It's just like,
it's not helping you now.
Yeah, exactly. It's, it's all about value draft. So I don't know, back to it though. It's kind of just like,
but I would definitely say right now, if I think a successful draft for the San Francisco 49ers would be a defensive back, and then some offensive tackle that they like. And then also, I really think that getting another running back is worth their time, because you saw it now, even though Raheem Mostert is a solid running back, staying on the field has been kind of an issue at times. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If you give him a bunch of carries, it's not gonna. Even Jeff Wilson, just the more running backs you have in that offense is the best. And then I think a tackle or some form of offensive lineman you need, especially if Trent Williams goes bye, and especially if Mike McGlinchey doesn't turn it around. But a defensive back is massive for us. But at the same time, if Ahkello Witherspoon can somehow turn it around, and then if we get Kwan back, and then we have obviously Jason Verrett, I like our defense a ton. But yeah, I think an underrated position that the Niners low-key need is some form of running back, low-key. Like, it's not anything that I feel like anybody talks about, but yeah, I think that wasting a draft pick, not wasting, but I just really am not high on getting a quarterback in the draft. I feel like that's just too early. Complete waste of a draft pick.
Yeah, too early is a waste of a draft pick. Yeah, and what ends up happening is that the quarterback's going to most likely be sitting on the bench for at least a year with Jimmy G. I don't, unless Jimmy G gets injured. He gets injured again or something like that, but he's going to be, the quarterback's going to be sitting behind for at least a year, because I think Jimmy's contract is up at the end of next year.
Mm-hmm.
But
even hear me out on this too. The Niners have been playing around how do I word this? They're playing like their quarterback play. They've been playing well despite not having their guy at that position. Like, they're playing around not having a good quarterback. And I feel like if looking back at the season as a highlight of the season, that is something that I think they should take a lot of pride in, that they played and competed with not a main guy there. You know what I mean?
And you guys were in games.
And if it wasn't for the quarterbacks committing turnovers, they would have won the majority of the games on the back half of the schedule.
Yeah, and I mean, like, that's what Jimmy G is. Like, or that's really all you need from Jimmy G. And ultimately, like, all you need from a quarterback is to just not commit turnovers and make the passes as designed. Like,
Jimmy isn't an elite quarterback, but he's better than the backups of the league.
Yeah, 100%.
He's that high tier, like mid-level kind of guy. He's the high mid-level tier quarterback.
Yeah,
And that's enough to get it done. As long as you
Like,
just aren't throwing picks, you're going to win tons of football games with the 49ers, especially when the defense is playing the way it is and it's getting off the field.
No, and for the 49ers, I definitely think corners, line, and I definitely see you guys getting some help with your middle linebackers or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely see that.
Yeah, I like where our linebackers are right now because Greenlaw is really good, but he's not going to be playing. Javon, dude, we have a few guys that aren't going to be playing, and it's going to be a tough this Seahawks game. Can we talk about the Seahawks game really fast?
Yeah, let's go.
Going to win. All right, so what are your thoughts on the Seahawks game? But I have a thing. I think Javon Kinlaw's out, Dre Greenlaw is out, K'Wan Williams is out, and Kevin Givens is out. So given that, it's going to be tough. It's going to be really tough. But if Akello Witherspoon can clutch up or whatever, if they put him on, because I don't think it's going to be, I honestly don't know 100% who's going to be on DK. They'll probably switch it up a little bit. But if Akello can use his 6'3" long frame and just try to limit DK Metcalf, I think they've got a shot in this game because essentially that's all it comes down to. Because the Seahawks, they're a really one-dimensional football team.
Yeah, and you just got to stuff the run. That's it. And you guys have been doing really well against the run this year. So just stuff the run. Stop, as funny as it is to say, you just got to stop Chris Carson. And then I think everything else, like you said, becomes a little bit more one-dimensional, and it's just all about – I don't think you're doubling DK, though, to be honest with you.
Right.
I don't think
no, because that takes away from Lockett and David Moore, and you don't want to get rid of that. You don't want to leave those guys open. Dude, honestly, because even you have to take this into consideration, too. We've seen Robert Saleh. Wait, if you give him enough opportunities, he's going to figure you out.
Yeah, no, 100%. That guy is most likely going to be the future head coach of the Atlanta Falcons.
Falcons now.
I have a feeling.
Falcons now, huh?
Yeah. Well, where do you think he's going to end up?
The Lions.
You think he's going to? Okay.
Because he's the Michigan guy.
Right.
I can see him as a Falcons guy.
I see
him turning around that defense.
Well, dude, that defense has been pretty solid. Right.
They used to be a laughing stock. Stock.
Yeah, well, you blow as many leads as you have.
All you would do in fantasy football, you find what quarterback that isn't on a team who's playing Atlanta, and you just fill them in if you're streaming quarterbacks. That's essentially what you would do.
Yeah, if you're streaming quarterbacks,
I don't recommend streaming a quarterback, but yeah.
So the game flow is going to be kind of interesting for this one, just because, and I think this is going to be kind of similar to the Bills game, but. See, the Seahawks are going to be playing at the same time as the Packers are playing, right? And this will be and the same time as the Saints are playing. So unless someone on the sidelines is going to be there being like, oh, the Packers are down by 30, or not even 30. Let's be realistic. The Packers are down by 15. Wait, that's not realistic. 14. Packers are down by 14. Packers are down by 21, whatever. 3 scores, 2 scores.
That doesn't matter.
Something like that. Hang on. And then the Saints are, also down by whatever much. I don't see the Seahawks finishing this game all the way through, or I don't see the starters finishing this game all the way through.
Yeah,
I definitely see them getting switched out maybe at halftime or something like that, especially depending on how this game flows. So I definitely see this. There's plenty of opportunities for the Niners to come away with a win, especially since the Niners this entire season, even with everyone playing for the Seahawks, the 49ers have given them plenty of trouble. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So this, even though, so many injuries, you guys aren't fully healthy, whatever the case may be, the 49ers are still going to be in this fight. You know what I mean? They're still going to be in this game, even if you take into account the fact that the Seahawks might not play their starters all the way through. So I think.
Wait, yeah, facts. You bring up a good point there. So I think that the Seahawks, they're going to play to win the whole entire game. Don't you think? Unless.
Yeah, well, I think. Well,
because they're not going to really know what the scores of the other games are.
Exactly. So they're going to be playing to win, and unless someone on the sidelines says oh, the Packers are down by like 21 or, the Saints are down by 21 or something, whatever the case may be. Something like that ends up coming where they end up getting that knowledge where it's like, okay, they've pretty much locked it up. Or they're gonna come away with, like the 1 seed. They could probably pull their starters or something like that, rest them, whatever case may be. So
yeah. I agree. Who is your regular season MVP for this year?
Like player?
Yeah.
Okay. Regular season MVP.
Or just MVP, I guess. That is the MVP.
I think Derrick Henry should deserve a lot more consideration, considering everything that, he's just been a powerhouse this entire season in terms of rushing yards, touchdowns, so on and so forth. I think, but obviously MVP is given to the quarterback more likely than not. And I think this is going to be Rodgers. This is going to be Rodgers MVP. And I think Vegas is also agreeing with that. I saw something the other day where it's like he's a minus 200 favorite or something like that to win MVP. So I think this is, I definitely think this is Rodgers MVP to win. But as far as like my own personal one, I would definitely go with Derrick Henry just because he's just been a beast, man. It doesn't matter who he's played.
Yeah. I want to go with Josh
Allen.
Yeah.
No, I definitely see that too.
I mean, he's probably not going to get. I completely agree that Aaron Rodgers is most likely the regular season MVP, but I just love Josh Allen, dude. The way he looks unbeatable at times, dude. I mean, him and Herbert, that type of quarterback where you get the whole meal in one. You get the arm, you get the size, and you get the legs. I mean, it doesn't
you get
really
the durability too.
You don't really get any. You don't get anything. It doesn't get better than that. Honestly.
No, I agree. I agree.
Who's your depoy?
Defensive player of the year. I'm gonna go with TJ Watt.
Yeah.
Who do you think I was gonna say?
No, I was just joking. I thought you were gonna say Freddie.
Oh no, I'm gonna go TJ Watt. I definitely think that what's his face on Panthers? What's his face on the Panthers?
The rookie?
Maybe I don't remember. I don't think he's on the Panthers.
Cool.
He's got the most interceptions in the league.
Chin? No. Who is that? Dude, I have no idea. Who else had a really good defensive season, dude? Bro, I'm spacing right now. I don't know. I don't really, dude. It's so funny that I don't really even pay attention to any other teams, honestly. All I see is the way that Fred Warner plays every single week. It's like that's my depoy right there. That's my everything. He's so freaking good. It's so odd that I just feel it's so weird. Sometimes you take some of these really good players for granted at times because I watch them and
Xavier Howard.
For the Dolphins.
Yeah, I don't know why I thought he was on the Panthers.
Yeah. Bro, I'm watching. I mean, it's halftime right now, but I've been watching like the Warriors game right now. But they're getting low key handed. They're down by like 12 to Portland, but they're going to be fine. They're going to be okay. Are you a Portland fan, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. We're going to probably do like a post game one after this because we did like a pregame one, but
I saw that.
Bro, it's the Warriors are low-key getting throttled, but it's okay. Gotta stand my ground a little bit. But what's your final prediction for the Seahawks game?
I kind of want to be a little bit risky.
You feeling saucy?
Yeah, I'm feeling saucy. I'm gonna go 49ers 27-24. Win by a field goal. Robbie Gould. You guys just paid him a ton of money.
Yeah, but he's on COVID-19 list though, right?
Oh, he is?
Is he? I thought he was on the COVID-19, but is he back?
I don't know.
Because
I just thought you guys paid him a ton of money.
They just re-signed him for. They threw a couple millions at him. But yeah, I think the Warriors are probably going to take this dub. I think CJ Beathard carries on some momentum into this game, and the Niners are going to take this W. Let's give it a sexy score. Like we'll go 28-21.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you. I think
that'll never happen though. But
I mean, like, I definitely agree with you though that the Niners have been rolling a little bit. I mean, minus the Cowboys game.
With that's what we've been saying is
you guys have been in the games, and I think that's the most important part.
With CJ Beathard, we saw consistency throughout the entire game, and that was missed when Nick Mullins was our quarterback. Because we would go through a lull the entire second half and then turn it up when we needed to. But in this game, we managed to work the ball down the field on consecutive drives. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it was more of a consistent ball game. And I feel we just got a lot of guys incorporated. And then obviously when the run game works for us, we're definitely the hardest team in the league one of the harder teams in the league to beat. Because then everybody gets so concerned. They want to stack the box. And then you got to worry about guys like the Kittle's efficiency last week was just out of this world. Him being back is the biggest. We missed him so much. He's so freaking good. But one thing I wanted to talk about was the fact that I have as a fan, and I'm sure everybody on the 49ers coaching staff has become this way too, is we have this immunity to injuries. Whereas say the Packers lose Robert Tonyan or like Aaron Jones. I'm sure
we just lost Bakhtiari.
Yeah. I'm sure that would sting.
Oh, but no, it's a loss.
No, that stings big time. But that's basically what the 49ers have gone through every single game this season. So over time, you know what I'm trying to say? Like, one of the teams
you become numb to it.
Yeah, but it's weird that we're still competing.
Yeah,
is what I'm trying to say. Is one of the losses that if a team in a different position than us had the equivalent loss that we get on a weekly basis, it's way more devastating to them.
Like 100%. It's just because the thing is it's kind of what I was saying earlier, where it's like, you guys lost to the Cowboys, you guys lost to, I think the Bills were the week before, and so on and so forth. And it's just like, you guys have sustained these losses, but like you guys have still been fighting in the games. Like these games haven't been like easy blow-bys by any means, right?
No.
So
we caught the
fact that you guys have been staying in these games is, I think it goes back just like the culture, the 49ers culture that's been created, Robert Saleh, Kyle Shanahan. I don't know who your OC is, but your OC too. Where it's just like that
is. Come on. Who's our OC?
I honestly don't know
who's our OC.
Is.
Who is
I don't know.
Who's the 49ers?
I don't know, bro.
Come on, man.
Bro, no, your HC is your OC.
Exactly. Facts.
So,
dude, that's a perfect trick question. You could ask, we should ask diehard Niner fans who the offensive coordinator is for the Niners. And they'll be like, oh, I don't know. It's Kyle, bro.
Yeah.
I honestly got that happened to me one time. I was like, I had to go back and think about who calls plays for the Niners. I'm like, duh. Who do you think calls plays?
Well, I mean, the OC isn't always the one that calls plays. Usually it's like the HC or something like that. But anyways, back to it. The point is
Matt Nagy.
It's not Matt Nagy. I don't know if I should be happy about that or sad about that. He's just
deferring all of his obligations to other guys on the team. Just please save me.
Cool.
Just save my job.
Yeah, I mean, I just don't know if I should be happy about the fact that Matt Nagy's relinquished play calling duties, and now that the Bears are rolling or whatever. But I think going back to it, I think the fact that the Niners have stayed in these games, have been fighting, even despite of whatever's come their way, injuries, like other losses to that extent. This for a majority of the season, it's just kind of been like, all right, like your entire defense was out, quarterback was out, tight end was out, and then it was basically, your wide receivers were going through some injuries. Raheem Mostert was out for a significant. It's like a lot of times what happens in those types of situations, a lot of teams just kind of give up. They're like, "What are we playing for?" That type of thing. Obviously, I read this thing where it's like players don't throw games, coaches and organizations do, or something like that. But basically, they were just trying to say that even when you have
the wise words.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
It's facts. It's facts.
Like, yeah, the whole point of that was to, just talk about like, players are fighting, they're still wanting those opportunities. They're making the most of those opportunities. They're not playing to lose. They're playing to tank or whatever. They're playing to make the most of these opportunities, and they're still going to keep fighting. And I think just the fact that we've seen this, we didn't see it with the Jets, but we've seen it with the Niners to this extent I think it's a major testament to the culture that's been built there in the Bay.
I have a question for you.
Yeah.
That I just want you to consider, just absorb it, okay? Just take it in and just think about it for just a minute, okay?
Sure.
Are the Jets a good football team? Can they be a good football team in next year? Could they be a good football team next year? Could the New York Jets be a good football team in the foreseeable future? I understand everything that has happened this year. They're one of the worst teams in football this year. But I just am not a believer in this team. I just, for some odd reason, I like some of the things that they have there, receiving wise and offensive wise.
I don't think it's possible so long as Adam Gase is still there.
Yeah, I agree. But I think if you maybe get somebody in there that knows what they're doing, you get a Joe Judge like the New York Giants. You get someone like that can freaking give some structure to a football team. I don't think that they have
Patricia.
Oh God, no. No, not Matt
Patricia's going to the Jets.
You need a young mind that knows. I don't know. I just think that they have good pieces. I mean, on offense, they have good wide receivers. I just can't.
Denzel Mims,
Rashad, Berrios, and don't forget the
Jay
legend
Crowder
himself,
or whatever.
Jay Crowder.
Yeah.
Jamison freaking Crowder.
I think they got a solid piece in Denzel. Honestly, I haven't really seen a whole lot from Denzel Mims this season. I think he's just been dealing with some injuries or something like that. Not sure, but haven't seen a whole lot from him. And I'm just not hot.
I like Ty Johnson.
I'm just not hot on the Jets, to be honest. I think they're lacking in a lot of places.
I'll give it to them that their defense is a little sketchy. Yeah. But I like what they have on offense, and I think that they should not give up on Darnold. I think that's
100%.
I think that's your man. Don't 100%. Be too quick to judge. That's your franchise guy. Build around him. He's gonna win you football games. Give 100%. Him the opportunity.
Yeah.
That's why getting Trevor Lawrence in this draft is not going to fix your issues. If they were in that position to get him. Getting a quarterback,
which they're not anymore.
Right. No, he's a Jag now.
Yeah.
Trevor's a Jag, but
he's been signed, basically.
Yeah. Congratulations to the Ohio State freaking Buckeyes, though. I mean,
yeah. What the heck? I'm looking at their stats right now.
I mean, it doesn't really get much better than a win over the Clemson freaking Tigers. Am I right?
No, especially since Dabo Sweeney.
Yeah,
it's going to be Dabo, where he was talking about that the Buckeyes shouldn't even be in the playoffs because they didn't play 10 games or whatever.
Oh, and that's stop it. The minimum.
Yeah, I think it was Dabo Sweeney that was saying that the Buckeyes should be in the playoffs because of that.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
He said he was saying that there should be a minimum games played in order to.
There was a lot of teams that I feel like were decent enough to get in there. This whole season's a freak show anyway.
Yeah.
But I mean, yeah, dude, Justin Fields, man, 6 touchdown
Sermon
passes.
Popped off.
No, that's what I'm saying.
30 carries, 191 yards.
Trey Sermon is a 49er. Trey Sermon is a San Francisco 49er if I've ever seen one, dude. Anybody
you think he's going 8th round or 8th pick or whatever your pick is?
Oh, hell no. He's going like, there's no way Trey Sermon's a first-round pick.
Who is there a running back that's coming up that you think is a first-round pick?
Hell, man, dude, if you can get Najee Harris, Jesus Christ, he is the most athletic man I've ever seen in my time. How about what's that guy, Devontae Smith?
Oh yeah, he popped off.
Holy moly. He's a savage. He's like raw talent. Like he just looks different out there. It's weird. Some guys, you know how when you watch him play and they make the game look too easy, you know? That's what he reminds me of. Like he's just faster than everybody. And it's just, oh my, get an offensive rebound. Jesus Christ, dude. Or get it a rebound, bro. My God.
Yeah.
But dude, Justin Fields is a savage.
Yeah.
I like him a lot. He looks like a Niner too, in all honesty. But if you can get your hands on Najee Harris, you're gonna have a franchise running back right there. He is.
Where do you think Justin Fields is gonna fall in the
I
draft?
think
it's way too early. Again, way too early.
I mean, Jesus, dude, if he leads his team to a natty and beats Alabama, your draft stock's gonna grow exponentially.
Yeah.
You know? I think that
declare this year, right?
Yeah. But I mean, I think there was talks of him maybe staying, but I love seeing Clemson go away. And I love seeing Ohio State, dude. Ohio State, they're good. They have a lot of good players there. Like that Olave guy. He's a stud. And not to mention, dude, the Ohio State alumni that's in the NFL right now is out of this freaking world.
Yeah, Joe Burrow.
Oh, yeah. And Chase Young, Nick Bosa, Joey Bosa. I mean, Jesus Christ.
Chase Young is probably going to win Defensive Rookie Player of the Year.
I think that Chase Young is going to be the next Aaron Donald. Who's your Rookie of the Year?
I think Justin Herbert.
Who else is besides
Justin Herbert?
Because obviously Herbert's going to win it, but who's your honorable mention second place?
Justin Jefferson or James Robinson?
Yeah, 100%.
I definitely see those guys. Although Chase Young could definitely get that.
Yeah. What team that is in the playoffs this year will not participate in the playoffs next year? So far, that's in it. I mean, we can't really say it.
Oh, it's like a
team that's like in the playoffs this year that you don't think will make it next year.
All right.
And give me a team that's not in it this year that you think will be in it next year. It's kind of hard to say because there's actually a lot of crap that can happen in this next week that determines whether.
So I think that the Chargers are going to be in there next year.
Yes.
I think the Browns are going to be out.
Okay. Yeah.
A couple of reasons, mainly Baker's contract's expiring, do or die. I think it depends on the draft versus Chargers have a lot of flexible spending room. They have a lot of flexible spending room to play with. And they have an upcoming draft with, I think, like 8-9 picks, something like that, where they're, no. Yeah, like 10 picks or something like that, where they're going to have a lot of playing room in order to build, build piece or bring pieces to their roster that they're going to be able to play around for the next couple of years. You know what I mean? I think especially since they have such a young quarterback, I think this is going to be a team that's going to be built. Chargers. Well, I'm talking specifically about the Chargers. I think the Chargers are going to build a team that's going to be really, really good and potentially even knock off the Chiefs down the road. Especially since the Chiefs, obviously they basically sold their franchise away to Patrick Mahomes and Chris Jones. Yeah.
They've got Frank Clark. Yeah.
Frank Clark, but Chris Jones, since they signed their lives, they're basically franchise away to them. As far as NFC, I definitely see of all the teams here, I think that the Niners are going to be in the playoffs for sure next year. Well, injuries aside, Niners are going to be in the are going to be in the playoffs, and I definitely think that the Eagles are going to be in the playoffs. I don't see Washington making a return, depending on who they end up drafting, because I definitely think that they need a
quarterback.
Yeah. I mean, Alex Smith might come back for another year. I don't think so, but he might. So we could see.
Alex Smith is getting into that level where he's awesome if your starter gets hurt.
Yeah, 100%. As far as the team that's in that I don't see, obviously I already said Washington, and because I mentioned two teams that I think are going to be in it, I'm going to say that I don't expect the Rams, and I know they're not like confirmed 100% yet, but I definitely don't see the Rams making a return if they are confirmed, just because cap space, roster, and just Jared Goff just did not play well this season. So I think that's gonna be
quarterbacks.
something.
There's such a. Am I off to say that there's a drop off between like the gradient between like the good ones and the other ones? Like, to me, there's not a lot of guys that, I mean, there are, but it's either you've got that stud or you don't. I don't know.
I think
there's a lot of good there's a lot of good decent quarterbacks with like stuff around them, but I just feel there's just those main guys and then it's everybody else.
I think what's interesting about the NFL, and I used to think that there was like tiers of teams, where, like team like the Packers is obviously going to be significantly better than a team like the Jets, right? Like that's just something you think. But then the more I've been like watching the league, I realize that like NFL teams are really along like if I had to like chart it out, they're really just along like a whatchamacallit. They're really just along like a parabola. I don't know. I'm trying to explain it in terms of math because that's the only thing that's like making sense to me right now. Or like a parabola, probably more like a log function or something like that, where it's like there's obviously like it'll keep going, right? Like the league is just going to get better and better or at least like in my opinion, players are going to get better and better as the league goes on, right? Mm-hmm. And the level of talent that ends up coming into the league every year is going to be relatively along like the same levels as the year prior to and the year that's coming up. So there's steady growth, one draft class, like, in my opinion, like this past year's draft class, like Justin Herbert's class, this class is going to be significantly better than the class for this year. I think 100%. Like that's just what it is. But like that's not to say that, like next year's class, not like this upcoming year, but like the following year or whatever. That's not to say that their class is going to be, better or worse than, Justin Herbert's class, So I think the level of talent in the league is more along a similar plan. And I think that there's a lot of other factors that weigh into, the success of a team. Like you have strength of schedule, you have injury, like there's so many unknown factors, right? But I think one of the ones, and I kind of already said it, but where it's like strength of schedule. And I think that plays a significant impact into what you end up seeing, because strength of schedule is assessed before the, like the games are played, right? Like strength of schedule is determined when the schedule is set for the upcoming year, where it's like, okay, yeah, these guys had an average win of this much, and this is what we think that ends up coming out to, right? But the problem with that is that it doesn't take into account the improvement of teams over the course of an off season, right? You have a draft class loaded with talent coming in that are definitely going to take away roster spots from, the previous talent, whatever the case may be, where it's just like, okay, now you're dealing with a defense that might've sucked last year. That's now top 10 this year. Right. So It's like, okay, well, going back to Jared Goff, is Jared Goff bad because he played 6 games against excellent defenses, right? The Cardinals, the Niners, or Seahawks.
Easy.
But is he bad because he's that, or is he bad because, he's genuinely bad, or is he bad because,
I just think
the other teams are better or whatever.
He's just in the Jimmy Garoppolo boat where he wouldn't be as bad if he wasn't paid as much as he is right now. You understand what I'm trying to say? If he didn't have the contract that he has, he'd be good. You know what I mean? Yeah, that's the biggest issue. Is quarterbacks are overpaid. That's all.
Oh, 100%.
That's just.
But it's like you see the value of like a good quarterback.
Oh, baby. Yeah, no, yeah, exactly. You need one unless you have all the other pieces around you. You know what I mean? You can get away with, because I'm not sold on Ryan Tannehill, but he's got some good pieces around him.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm not sold. I mean, Phillip Rivers is great, but he has some crazy good offensive weapons.
Right. And I'm not obviously. I'm like, it sucks what happened to Dak this year, but I'm still not sold on Dak. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I like Dak. Dak slings.
I like Dak. I think he's a good quarterback, but I'm just like, if he didn't have Zeke Elliott, if he didn't have like a fantastic O-line for the past 3-4 years, if he didn't have Amari Cooper and then now CeeDee Lamb, Michael Gallup, all these guys, basically all these, offensive weapons, the Cowboys should be a number one offensive. They should have been the number one offense team a couple years ago. They should be top 10. I think they should have been top 10 for the past 4 years since they've had Dak, just with everything that they've had. So yeah.
I agree. What 10 plus win team is the worst to you?
10 plus. I think the Green Bay Packers. We're definitely gotten lucky a couple times, especially with the teams that we faced over the years, or not over the years, over this season. I definitely think that the Packers are probably the worst team in terms of schedule, who they faced. Well, yeah, that's who you face determines your wins, right? If you go into it, the Packers only won they've only won 2 games against another team that's won 500 or is above 500,
right?
So I think of the 10 win teams, I definitely think the Packers are up there, and I definitely think the Steelers are up there too for the AFC.
Yeah, I think that the Ravens are gonna. I think that one thing did I say this, that I think the Chargers have a Super Bowl coming their way soon.
Oh, I think you and I have talked about it.
Okay. Yeah. I just want to say that I think that they definitely have one soon, but I also think that Baltimore Ravens are going to be a big time issue in the playoffs this year.
This year.
Yeah. This upcoming bracket is going to be the teams that are going to, you're not going to like running into the Ravens. That's going to be a tough freaking game to play. I don't care who you are. If you have to play Lamar Jackson, I am really sorry that you have to do that, because that's not going to be fun. And that's all he's been hearing. That's the only knock on Lamar Jackson, is that he has got COVID before he's got a playoff win. You know what I mean? That's basically, that's the only thing you can really say about him, because Lamar's been doing everything, and they listen to me. They've been getting our Marquise involved more. They've been getting Hollywood involved more. And I just think that they're going to be a freaking problem.
I think that, I kind of agree with you to an extent, because Ravens, we know what their defense is capable of. They're top defense. We get that. Their offense has been the question for the majority of the season. I think, you and I have talked about this in previous episodes, where it's okay, yeah, the Ravens are a fantastic team. They should be playing well, but the fact is that a lot of teams in this past off season took a strong look at the Ravens film and saw exactly what they were doing, especially within their own division. They took a big look, or not a big look, but they took a deep dive into what the Ravens were doing offensively, and they, it's kind of figured out, quote, quote, right? So I definitely think that COVID break, whatever thing, the Ravens have been playing like a different team since then. And I think it definitely took that time off. I know it wasn't really time off, but I think it took that step to where the Ravens had to put in another quarterback instead of Lamar Jackson. And they really had to take they had to take a look at what they had offensively and where Lamar Jackson was making up for where their shortcomings were. And since then, I think they've kind of figured it out to where, okay, well, let's not put Lamar Jackson into situations where he's having to do it all himself. Like, we invested heavily into our offense, the past couple drafts, right? Like, you got Hollywood Brown, you got J.K. Dobbins this year. You also invested a ton of money into Mark Ingram, who I don't believe is playing right now. But the pieces are out there.
One of the best tight ends in the league.
Oh, yeah. Mark Andrews, yeah. Like, the pieces are there. Like, quit putting it all on Lamar Jackson. Like, get these guys involved.
Right. Yeah.
So,
but if Lamar Jackson, to me, I make the comparison to UFC fighters where it's like Lamar Jackson is that champion in the UFC that loses his belt because he got robbed by the judges. And when he plays that guy, another team again, and is the underdog, it's undeniable that you have to pick that underdog because they're that good. And when you have that guy on your team, Lamar Jackson, it's just so hard to not root for them. And also it's so hard to count them out on because any given Sunday, that man's could ball out. And it doesn't really matter what your defense is doing because he's going to make plays. That's just what I think about it. The Ravens, that they're still, to me, them and the Chiefs are the most. Oh God! But then the Bills too. But that's besides the point. But I just think that if I could make an underdog pick to win the Super Bowl, I'm picking the Baltimore Ravens all day.
Okay. So really quickly, like, I'm looking at the standings as they sit right now. I don't think the Colts are making it in. I'm be honest right now. After Sunday's results, I don't think that the Colts are making it. I think it's going to come down to the Ravens at 5, the Dolphins at 6, the Browns at 7, and I think that's how the AFC wraps up. Now, with that, right? The only team that I'm like, okay, yeah, I'm taking them 100% over the Ravens is the Chiefs, right? Mm-hmm. The other teams, like the Titans, who have beat them earlier this season, I'm still like, I'll pick the Titans, but it's like, I'm not like, oh yeah, 100%, like no doubt in my mind.
They used to be 100% for me.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, exactly. The Titans were 100%. But then I was like, wait a minute, you let the Packers do that to you? So It's like, now it's like, I don't know. The other team is the Bills. And even with the Bills, the way that they play, and they've been on a roll, especially since Josh Allen has come back from his injury, and he's just been back on his tear. So, and I think Josh Allen's like 100% now, 100% recovered from his shoulder injury. Mm-hmm. So, and obviously, like you see it on the field, it's 100%, he's playing a lot different. But even then, I'm still like, do you really take the Bills? Like,
I know.
What is it? 3-point margin win, maybe, if that? Like, what?
People love the Bills.
I love the Bills. I love watching the Bills
team, but
right.
I'm picking the Ravens over the Bills any day of the week.
Oh, that's 100% for you, huh?
100%.
Okay.
Ravens no one's going to beat the Ravens in the playoffs except maybe the Chiefs.
Yeah.
Chiefs
are the only team that I'm 100% like thinking they're going to win. Titans, Bills. Titans, not really. Bills, I'll take the Bills over the Ravens. But even then, it would be uneasily. Like,
bruh, as it's lined up right now. The Pittsburgh is not going to beat Baltimore.
Oh, 100%, they're not.
And the winner of so it's going to be Steelers play Pittsburgh, Miami plays Tennessee, Cleveland plays Buffalo. So then Buffalo gets by Cleveland, and then they would play either Tennessee or Miami. And then
hang on. Let me take a look at this. I'm kind of lost. I'm not going to lie. Like, I'm not following, so.
Yeah, okay. So the first seed's Kansas City right now. 7 seed's Cleveland. They're playing Buffalo. Then Baltimore's playing Pittsburgh. And then Miami's playing Tennessee. Baltimore's 6th seed. Pittsburgh's 3rd seed. Miami's 5th seed. Tennessee's 4th seed. Yeah. I think Baltimore beats every single one of those 6 teams in that lower level. Or I mean, that doesn't have a first round bye, obviously, because the Chiefs are the only team that has a first round bye. But the Baltimore is the best team out of all those teams, dude. They beat Cleveland easily any day of the week. They're gonna beat Buffalo. They're gonna take out Pittsburgh easily. They would destroy Tennessee.
Okay, so as it currently stands, right, it would be Bills at Browns, which I'm taking the Bills over. It would be Steelers at Ravens, which you and I both agree.
It would be Cleveland.
Oh, right. It would be Browns at Bills, which obviously Bills. Ravens at Steelers, which you and I both agree Ravens, and then Titans Dolphins, which I think you and I both agree Titans.
Mm-hmm.
Oh wait, yeah, Titans. And then the following week, it would then be the Ravens at the Chiefs.
Yeah, and the Chiefs aren't going to beat the Ravens, dude.
Okay, all right.
That's going to be. Good football.
I see it. And then it would be the Titans and Bills.
Oh, Bills all day.
Okay, and then it would come down to Bills Ravens.
Oh God, dude, Baltimore's gonna make it to the Super Bowl. Stop it.
All right, Ravens in the bowl. All right,
the Ravens are gonna be in the Super Bowl.
All right. Let's do NFC real quick. Let's just go as it stands, and we'll get the Cardinals beating the Rams.
Yeah.
Right. So the Bears. The Cardinals beat the Rams,
and they
hang on, I gotta do this again.
And they get in, I'm pretty sure. Dude, the Warriors are getting smacked around right now. Steph, smack it, baby. Dude, Steph can't even hit a wide open 3 ball. This is bad. This is really bad. Kick it back out to Steph. Hit him with that. Baby, 74-93. Let's go. Coming back. Still got a whole other quarter of basketball to play. Let's go.
Okay, so let's just go with the Cardinals beating, and let's just go with the Packers beating the Bears, and sure, let's go with the Niners beating the Seahawks. Whatever. So then it would be Saints at the Rams. Who are you taking?
Oh, Saints at the Rams, dog?
Or sorry, Rams at Saints. My bad. I read the other way.
Saints all day.
Okay.
Rams don't stand a chance.
Okay, Cardinals at Seahawks.
Oh, baby, that's an interesting ball game, huh?
That would be a fun one. I'm not gonna lie. That's gonna be a fun game to watch.
That's an interesting ball game. I'm not gonna lie to you. I think we're gonna have to go with Seattle, dude.
Okay. And then the Buccaneers at Washington.
Buccaneers at Washington. Oh, daddy. That's going to be... Bro, but the New York Giants are going to make the playoffs, dude.
Okay, sure. Let's just go with...
No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding with you. Well, I think honestly, Washington football team gets past the Eagles. I think Eagles put up a fight, but I don't think it's going to be anything.
Yeah. No, I agree with that.
Tampa Bay at Washington. I mean, don't you got to go with Tampa Bay?
Yeah.
But the defense could nullify the offense, especially if you get Tom Brady rattled back there.
Yeah, Chase Young has a day. I could see it, but I think we're gonna roll with the Vegas.
Yeah, I think you got to go with Buccaneers.
All right, so then it would be the Bucks in Green Bay, and then the Bucks in Green Bay, and then Seahawks at Saints.
Seahawks lose to the Saints in New Orleans.
Okay, so Saints in the NFC. All right. And then what about Packers Bucks?
Aaron Rodgers revenge game.
Aaron Rodgers. Okay, so then Packers Saints.
I think the Saints. I mean, I think Packers. I think Aaron Rodgers get to the bowl game against. It's either State Farm Bowl or it's going to be a.
I'm rooting for the State Farm Bowl.
Yeah.
I'm rooting for the State Farm Bowl.
All right, and then
that's what I want to see happen. But
and then
for our scenario here,
or we're going to see Lemur.
Yeah. So for for our scenario here, it's the Packers or Ravens at Packers.
Yeah, we're gonna see Lamar, freaking the best quarterback in the league, Jackson, play we're gonna see new school versus old school.
All right, and you're taking new school.
Oh, all day, Lamar.
All right, you're taking the Ravens to win the Super Bowl over the Packers. All right.
I mean, yeah, it's harder. It's harder for the Ravens to get out of all of the games that the Ravens have to play in the AFC is harder than any of the other games that they would have to play in the Super Bowl. Am I wrong?
I think the Saints beat the Ravens. If the Saints make it to the Super Bowl and
Drew Brees hasn't been looking sexy though. Alvin Kamara looks sexy. I'll give him that.
No, I think the Saints beat him.
Interessante.
I don't think Drew Brees needs to be 100% for this because the Saints are fantastic defense.
Yeah, man.
Which is crazy to say. But honestly, my personal take here, I think Washington beats the Bucks.
Oh, baby.
I'm taking no. I'm just saying that because I don't want the Packers to go up against the Bucks. But
you want to go up against Washington though?
I would take the Packers over Washington, 100%.
Yeah, man, it's interesting that defense. You just can't count them out.
But I also know that everyone would say in the event that the Packers somehow make it to the Super Bowl without going against Tampa Bay. And they end up winning the Super Bowl. I think I 100% see everyone going like, the Packers win doesn't count or whatever because they didn't beat the Bucks or something like that.
Yeah, facts. I can see that.
Like that's 100% happening. If the Packers don't beat the Bucks, I totally see that happening.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah.
But then again, last time the Packers had the Bucks, I think it's off a bye. Something like that. Like we choked. So God knows.
You want to do, just to close it up, do you want to do just rapid fire of all the games? Give me your pick.
Sure.
Okay. Dolphins, Bills.
Bills only play in the first half. I take Dolphins.
Okay. Ravens, Bengals.
Ravens.
Steelers, Browns.
Browns.
Ooh, baby. Vikings, Lions.
Vikings.
Jets, Pats. Give me that answer. You know you want to say it, baby. You know you want to. Hey.
Jets. Just because they've been rolling.
Let's go. Sammy D. Arguably one of the bigger games of the week. Cowboys, Giants. Give it to me. Say it. You know
Giants. I'm taking the Giants. I have to take the Giants because you and I went out on a limb like a couple weeks ago and we're like, oh yeah, the Giants are making the playoffs. So now I want the Giants to make the Super Bowl. Exactly. Or not Super Bowl, but playoffs.
Exactly. And then you go Falcons, Bucks.
Bucks.
That's a trap game. Packers, Bears.
Packers.
Broncos, Raiders.
Raiders.
Jags, Colts.
Colts.
Chiefs, Chargers.
Chief. Oh, yeah, this is a trap game, but Chiefs.
Cardinals, Rams.
I'm gonna go Cardinals.
Yeah. Saints, Panthers.
Saints.
Titans, Texans.
Titans.
Washington, Eagles.
I'm gonna go with the Eagles. I want the Eagles to win so bad.
Just so New York can get in.
No, I want the Eagles to win so bad just so the Cowboys and the Giants can like face off. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because they're going to be legitimately fighting for a playoff spot.
Dude,
either one of them could make it in for that one spot. So it's going to be a great game.
Is the Sunday night game. So whoever wins that Giants Cowboys game is going to be 2.
Oh, wait, they play later?
Yeah.
Oh, so we're already gonna know.
Well, no, we won't.
No, oh, sorry. Let me rephrase that. So
Washington
we're already
Eagles
gonna
are playing
know who wins.
Giants Cowboys.
Yeah,
We'll be
we're already
watching.
gonna win. We're already gonna know who wins the Cowboys Giants game before we go to that.
Right.
Okay, never mind then.
But that makes it more intense.
All right. Yeah, I'm still gonna go with the Eagles. Jalen Hurts, man.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's going to be a competitive game, but I just do not know.
Yeah.
But yeah, dude, we covered a lot of freaking crap in this. Oh my god.
I know this was supposed to be a short episode, bro.
Yeah, it's chill. It's chill. Yeah, no, well, it's been fine because I've just like kind of been eyeballing the Niners game the Warriors game, but they're getting throttled anyway, so it doesn't matter. But yeah, this was good, dude. Thank you for coming on. Nobody else could really make it, so I mean, this was cool.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun getting to talk football, bro. I feel like you and I could literally sit and just talk football for hours.
Yeah, it's so easy.
Yeah,
it's so freaking awesome. But yeah, hopefully the Warriors can come back here, but I highly doubt it. But
this NBA season is definitely gonna be interesting.
What about the Nets?
Blazers?
There's been so many weird outcomes, but these teams are still working on
the Nets.
Huh?
Haven't the Nets been rolling?
No. Well, I want to say they lost today, right? Yeah, they lost to the Hawks today. And
really?
Didn't they just lose to the Hornets? Or no, they lost. Oh, no. Okay, wait. What am I talking about? They destroyed the Hawks, or they played a good game with the Hawks, and they just lost. So yeah, they were rolling. My bad. But I don't know what I'm talking about. It's whatever.
They beat the Hawks they beat the Hawks early. Yeah, okay. Makes sense.
Then they lost. But yeah, and it's any dude, there's honestly, it's going to be really interesting. It's any team's chance for a title. I mean, obviously you got your favorites and stuff, but there's a lot of time for teams to get it together.
Yeah, I think the Blazers are a sleeper team.
Yeah, I know. I mean, I wouldn't even go as far to say they're a sleeper team. I feel like there's a lot on a lot of people's radars.
Yeah,
but
they just got to figure it out with the wing pieces. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
For a long time, the Blazers just haven't had a wing player. So I don't know.
Yeah, I agree.
They like that third scorer, man.
Yeah, but they're looking really nice. I like the Blazers. I mean, I'm not going to say I like the Blazers, but I like their team. I think they could go deep in the playoffs. I think the Warriors look good at times, but they get some of these teams just have some crazy good runs on them where they just go on a drought and then
You think they should have drafted LaMelo instead of Wiseman or whatever?
Oh my baby. No, dude, Carmelo just told somebody to get the hell out of here with the swap, bro. I think that Wiseman was the pick because I think he's going to develop into a good player. I think there just would have been too much craziness if LaMelo was on the court with us.
Is Draymond getting drafted before the end of the season?
Huh?
Is Draymond getting drafted before the end of the season?
What do you mean?
Draymond Green? Do you think he's going to, or traded?
No. Yeah, he's playing right now. Yeah, I think he's staying for sure.
All right.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to get rid of him, but yeah, man. Thank you for doing this. This was fun. This will probably, it'll either be up tomorrow or maybe even tonight. So,
bro, you could probably even split this up into like 2 different episodes.
Facts. Probably won't though. It's okay. Yeah, because I don't know where we would split it up at.
Well, we were talking about week 17, then we got into like playoffs. So
yeah, I don't know. It's fine. We'll just call it both. It's chill. But,
all right.
Yeah, thank you, dude.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
All right, good talking to you, brother.
Yeah,
Let me know.
Yes, I will for sure. All right, we'll do some playoff stuff like when.
Yeah, if you want to do a recap on Sunday night or something like that.
Yeah,
when we have like a definitive playoffs or something like that, let me know.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, we definitely should do that, and then we should do once everything's locked in, we should do our predictions and fill out our brackets or whatever.
Yeah.
All right,
let's do it.
Sounds good. All right, bye.
Bye.